About an hour after the first impact, we saw some dramatic footage of a portion of one of the Twin Towers, actually it appearing to fall away from the rest of the building. Can we go to the tape now? Here we go, right here. This is, I mean, when you look at it, the building has collapsed.
It all happened in 2001, on the 11th September. First plane hit the Northern Tower at 8:46, and it hit the tower's floors from 94 to 98. The next plane, only 18 minutes later, hit the other tower, the Southern Tower, and it destroyed 78 to 86 floors. How is it that it could collapse? We have an expert in the field. Now, how do you think that it was possible for the two towers to be able to collapse?
Well, even though the two towers were prepared for such incidents, they were built to withstand a collision with a Boeing 707 plane. The constructors didn't consider the extreme amount of heat generated by the explosion from the two planes. In fact, the temperature was high enough to make the steel frames bend in the building, which actually requires around a temperature around 1200 Celsius. This was later declared the official reason for both towers to collapse, but actually the angle of entrance for the two planes to hit the towers was also fatal for the collapse. The first plane hit the Northern Tower with such angle that it hit around 6 floors, which it completely destroyed. The second plane did later fly into the Southern Tower, where it hit around 8 floors, which it completely destroyed too. So I think that this in all made the reason why that the two towers could collapse, even though it was hit in the very high floors numbers, because you would think that the towers would collapse if it hit the bottom of the towers, but it actually hit the top part, but it actually happened due to the heat and the angle the planes hit the towers.
Thank you very much for your expertise. Now we have heard how it could possibly happen that the tower could collapse. We're now going to speak with a different expert who has some theories that he will tell us about. Now we have talked with an expert on how the two towers could collapse. Is that really the truth? What do you think?
Well, I don't really have my own opinion, but there's definitely many different theories about it. And one of the theories is gas explosion or thermite, nanothermite explosion. Nanothermite is an explosive you use in controlled explosions. Or it could be a gas explosion from the gas from the airplane or something like that. But other theories says that it was the American who did it self, because if you take a look of how many workers there was at work that day, is only 3,000, and funny enough, there was no boss at work that day for no department or anything like that. And the funny thing is, for about 40% of the American even believe that it was their government who did it itself to get money from it, or as an excuse for it, the business was going to collapse.
Thank you very much. It was some very interesting theories you came with. Now we have heard about how it happened and how it could have happened, and we're now going to speak with another expert on what kind of impact it had on the country itself and what happened in the future.
Let's go.
Now, what happened after the attack?
Well, if I went from having 250 agents to have 7,000 agents to investigate 17,000 cases on the World Trade Center, and even though no one has taken the blame for 9/11 at that time, USA sent their military against Iraq to fight Taliban. It also developed a big economic loss. The scenario 9/11 cost the American society $1 billion, and it left also a lot of fear among people in the West, but most in the USA, because they now felt very haunted by the terror. When it comes to the import and export, they tighten up the security, especially in the harbors and the airports. They influenced also the whole West to be more secure regarding to securities in these places. George Bush reacted with developing the department named Department of Homeland Security to prevent and defend the country from further terror actions.